Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see by the title of the video, today's video is going to be how you would clean your brushes and your sponges, and it's just the item that you would need for this operation. So as you guys can see, I have my distilled white vinegar and I have my Gain dish detergent. I also have a pot of boiling hot water. You guys can also use microwave water, but I use boiling hot water on the stove for this particular situation because it literally took like 30 seconds to get done. So I have my bowl full of brushes and a freaking plastic bowl, you guys. You guys gonna see in the middle of the video my bowl started melting. I'm just like, wow. So I'm just pouring the water into the bowl and I'm turning my brushes upside down because I actually had them faced the wrong way. So I'm just turning them upside down, and I'm also going to take some of that water out because I put too much water in there, like kind of like forgetting that I had to mix the dish detergent and the vinegar in there as well. So I'm just taking some of that water out while turning my brushes upside down. And as you guys can see, the water is already getting pretty brown without even adding anything else into it. So this lets you know that the brushes are already, get it clean or whatnot. Still has a little longer to go, but they're already pretty much getting clean because the water is like very hot. It's boiling at this point. So now I'm just going to end with my dish detergent and my and my vinegar. I keep saying apple cider vinegar. You guys can use apple cider vinegar as well, but I'm just going in with my vinegar and my detergent. I don't really measure how much I put into there, but if you guys like to measure that, you can just do like a half a cup of water, a teaspoon of dish detergent and vinegar, but I just pour it in there to my liking. So I'm just dipping and kind of like pushing the brushes into the water, like to the bottom of the bowl, so that it can actually like pound their product out, because you will have stubborn product in your brushes if you use them a lot. For this particular time, I didn't really have to do this step like a lot of times because my brushes weren't really that dirty. It's only been like a week since I've washed my brushes, so I didn't really have to do this like more than one time. But sometimes, depending on how your brushes, like how dirty they are, you may have to like do it over like 2 or 3 times just to get them clean. But I only had to do this one time, so you guys are gonna see in the video. And my bowl is melting. I know y'all see it.
1 hour later.
Alright, so this is about 30 minutes to an hour later. As you guys can see, I still have the mixture, very dirty, very filthy looking. And now I'm just gonna take that water out. I'm going to take that nasty mixture out, and then I'm going to run some regular sink water into the bowl. And I also in the kitchen have a pot of boiling hot water again, just so I can pour that hot water into my bowl again, and just so it can really like take the rest of that product out, like any other product I have into my brushes. Just take all of that product out so it can just be clean and good as new. And I always make sure that I pound my brushes to the bottom of the container so that you can really get the product out, you guys. You don't have to use this type of container. You can use whatever you like. So you can use a cup, a bowl. It really does not matter. I usually don't use this because I didn't have really anything else around me. I just kind of like grab this, but I usually make sure that I use something that won't melt on me. And now I'm just showing you guys how the brushes look. They definitely look way better than they did at the beginning of the video. And this is always like a 30-minute to an hour procedure. You don't have to have it in no longer than that. Like I said, depending on how dirty your brushes are. But if you wash your brushes regularly, it's not really going to take long at all. So now I have my hot water again. I'm just going to pour it into my bowl that I have and just let those brushes sit in that water for just a couple seconds, and then just take it out, and then it's just going to be clean. The reason why I did this is because I did mix vinegar with it, so it kind of had like that vinegar smell still, and I don't want my brushes to smell like vinegar. So I just made sure that I did some hot boiling water so to take that smell out. You guys can also just add a little bit of dish detergent to it so it can really clean it out or whatever, but I didn't do it this time. I usually do it though, but I didn't do it this time. And yes, that water was hot. That water was very hot. I've been using this procedure for about a year now. Well, honestly, probably not a year now. I don't know. It's been almost, if not a year, almost a year I've been doing this. And I love it because it's like you're using things that you automatically use on a daily basis anyway. So you don't have to go out and buy new products or just spend a lot of money on. Like, you literally use soap, you literally use vinegar, you literally use dish detergent on a daily basis. So it's not expensive or anything, and it's very quick to do. You don't have to wait all day long for your brushes to get dry. I'm just squeezing all that water out just so my brushes won't be so moisty and just wet and just, you know. So I'm just making sure that the water is fairly out. So now you just see the finished product of my brushes before they're actually dry. That's just how they look. Definitely look way much better than how they looked at the beginning. So now I just got this little towel, nothing fancy, got like the little bleach stains and whatnot. Just a little towel that I just have my brushes on top, just because I don't want it to like be on like direct surface. Just because, I'm cleaning my brushes, it's kind of like unsanitary a little bit. So I just always wrap my brushes around in a towel and let them sit overnight. Because this was a night procedure, I did do this at night. So I typically just let my brushes dry overnight, but sometimes you don't have to do that. And it's just how my brushes look afterwards, you guys, and I'm just ready to use them. I was literally finna use them in the next 5 minutes. Alright, so in the next section of this video, I show you guys how you use your sponge. As you guys can see, I have a bar of soap and literally just water. Literally, you only need a bar of soap and water for this procedure. It's literally the best and the easiest thing ever. So as you guys can see, I'm running the water, and I'm just going to put my sponge into the sink and just let it get bigger. As you guys know, your sponge is automatically going to get bigger and softer as it is, in the water or whatever. So it's going to get bigger and softer. So I'm just showing you guys how the sponge looks first. It's originally orange, but you guys will never know that because it's dirty. So there is our goal for today. Just basically washing our sponge so they can just apply way better. So basically the objective of this video, of this procedure, is basically just kind of like rubbing the soap against the sponge. It's definitely very, very easy. I always make sure to use a bar soap just because it's easier to really like get both of the products side by side to actually like rub against it. I don't do it too hard because you can break your sponge doing that. You guys can see I have like little areas where it's kind of like broken because of that, but it's very easy, you guys. So that's literally what I do the whole video. As you guys can see, I just keep making sure that I go back into the water after I get done putting some soap onto my sponge, and so the mixture, the products can really like come out. This is like my foundation sponge, so this is the one that I've been using for the past week. So it's about a week dirty, and yeah, it's pretty much dirty. Like I said, the original color is orange, but you guys don't know that because it looks brown right now. And I just kind of like zoomed in a little bit so you guys can actually see like the whole function of it. So this is what I'm doing, make sure that I'm squeezing the mess out of that sponge, because the harder that you squeeze the sponge, the more product is going to come out. And it's so satisfying to see the product come out, and it's just to know that it's good and cleaner. So you still see like a little bit of like spots, dark spots. The dark spots that you see just lets you know that all the product isn't out. So when I see little dark spots on my sponge still, I just make sure that I focus on those areas. Make sure you get the tip of the sponge, and the tip of the sponge can typically be the dirtiest because that's like, that's the spot that you use the most when you're blending out your foundation, concealer, and stuff like that. So as you guys can see, it's literally the easiest thing ever, like literally, and it does not take long. It takes about 10 minutes, especially if you want it like brand spanking new type clean. It's gonna take about 10 minutes, but averagely probably about 5 to 10 minutes, not even joking. It's literally the quickest thing ever. And I just make sure that I keep on scrubbing that soap against that sponge. That's the only way it's going to get clean. You guys see that? Like, and in some situations, it'll look like it's clean, but like the more that you do it, you just find yourself squeezing out more product. So that's why you have to really take your time, just really like, massage your sponge. Make sure you frequently put it into the water again so they can really rinse the product out. And sometimes when you're doing this, you may find your sponge still being a little hard in some areas. That just lets you know that the soap is still in your sponge. And you don't want to have soap still in your sponge, so you do want to make sure that you rinse all that soap out. When you see there isn't any more product in your sponge, you still may have to keep regularly going into the water and just like squeezing the sponge very hard just so that soap can come out, because you don't want soap in your sponge. It's bound to not apply well, you know. So it's literally, like I keep saying this, y'all, but it's literally the easiest thing ever. It's no hard to it. And you're literally using something that you use every day. I wouldn't advise using soap that you use on your body, and then because it's just very dirty, this is very unsanitary. But you make sure that you use the bar soap. It doesn't have to be a particular kind, particular brand. Soap is supposed to make you clean anyway, so any kind of soap would do the job. And now look at my sponge, y'all. My sponge literally looks how it looked when I first got it, except that it's pretty much like almost broken into two. But it's still like a beautiful orange color, and that's the color that you want, you know. I don't like applying my makeup with dirty sponges and dirty utensils. That's why I wash my utensils about 2 times a week. Sometimes 3, depending on how frequent I do my makeup in the course of 1 week. I may do it 3 times, but usually it's like 2 times. And I'm just making sure that I keep squeezing your sponge throughout this whole process, because you're able to get that water and that soap out. So even though my sponge looks like it's pretty much clean, I still want to make sure that all that water is out and all of that soap is out, most importantly. And if you guys were wondering, this is not cold water. I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious that it's not cold water, but this isn't cold water. It's definitely hot water. I use hot water. And as you guys can see, the more I squeeze it, the more you still see some water still in there. So I just keep squeezing it out. I don't keep squeezing it out until it's like completely dry, because it's not gonna be completely dry. And it's just the final product. This is how it looks in the end. Don't even look like the same sponge. It looks like I just grabbed it out of a new box, but it's how it looks in the end. Like I told you guys, this product took about 5 minutes in all, 5 to 10 minutes, because it really wasn't that dirty anyways. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave a like if you guys learned something from the video, and also please make sure you comment any video suggestions you guys would like to see. I see you guys in the next video.